A passion is defined as an intense desire or enthusiasm for something or someone. In terms of gaming, it resonates to the individual as a connected moment that goes beyond a simple admiration for a title. It solidifies itself as a reason to love it. On this series of Your Gaming Reason, we ask individuals on their perspective of what began as a simple admiration for a franchise and became a passion. For this reason, I invited two guests to ask their insight on the matter of Kingdom Hearts, a platforming title turned action RPG focusing on the adventures of young Keyblade wielders, along with Disney characters on their journey to stop various worlds from becoming shrouded in darkness. Our guests today are my friends Nana and Pyo.Chan, both who are SoCal cosplayers with about 20 years of combined cosplay experience. On top of having 10 years of wig styling experience, Nana takes wig commissions on various anime series, video games, with Kingdom Hearts being their most requested, combining her knowledge of cosplay and wig styling. As expected, these two have been fans of the series since its near conception and bring a perspective and passion not many people could say with Kingdom Hearts. We asked both of these wonderful guests on their perspective and insight on their gaming reason for Kingdom Hearts.
Another dream about him.
Begin with 1. I found out about it when KH2 came out and my cousins were playing it and I saw them, playing it and I was like, oh, this looks kind of cool. The characters look cool. There's Disney in it. How bad can it be?
My truth in the story is back in 2002 when the game first released, I had already owned a PS2, fortunately. And since the game was titled under Disney and the E rating that it had gotten, I had the privilege and lucky opportunity to be one of the first people to play the game due to the fact that my dad had bought it, since it was supposedly family friendly and kid friendly.
So I did my little research. I ended up getting 1 and 2 and I started from the beginning. Ever since I got into Kingdom Hearts 1, over just looking over my cousin's shoulder playing and thinking, that's cool. It's a downward spiral of this.
I already had background information, or I had background in playing JRPGs by Square Enix and other game companies, of course, with Final Fantasy titles and Legend of Dragoon and a bunch of other things like that. Playing the game, it was in a completely different light, because instead of starting off in like a super dark story background place like Midgar or whatever, okay. You get 3 kids running on an island trying to escape from an island, and you're like, how does Disney play into this? You start off around the same age as Sora. Being someone of similar age, you're like, oh, this could have been me, or oh, this guy or this kid is just like me.
I've spent all my life, okay, not all my life, but half my life literally waiting for game releases, waiting for like the end of the story to just, come here to play. And look, and
honestly, you actually waited half your life for this.
That doesn't make it any better.
Sad.
I made us good luck charms.
Wow.
Here.
I get one too?
Of course. One for each of us.
Yeah.
Of characters that one person can resonate with.
Actually, I don't have a single character that resonates with me, because I kind of mentioned, I feel like I have a little bit of a connection with every single character. There's something that each character has that I can connect with.
Personally, for me, growing up, I was more of an Aqua type, kind of motherly, the mature one in the group. Basically the person who followed responsibilities and stuff like that and kind of had to mature faster than everyone else. And so growing up, I was more like Aqua. Kind of getting out of high school, it was kind of more like Riku, bordering Roxas, bordering Xion and everyone else. That dark dive where you get carried away in a bunch of stuff that basically kind of sweeps you away and kind of makes you falter in seeing the light, and no matter how hard you try to pull yourself out, there's not that much you can do unless you have the people, friends or family, who basically are there for you and are there to be able to guide you and like hold out their hand and kind of be that path that you need to be able to kind of redeem yourself, to kind of prove that you are worthy of people's time and efforts and that you're just not lost.
Kairi also, I know she hasn't been like big part in the game, but she's also been there kind of. She's been kind of like the little, rooter for, Sora and stuff. So like I can relate with that. Like, sometimes you have to be the she's not a background character, don't get on my case, but like the background character sometimes, for other people in your life. So like there is literally little bit of things that you can relate with every character to make kind of like you.
There were a lot of characters that I could pretty much relate to. Roxason being like the person who used to be, which of course is Sora, someone who is bright and bubbly and something like that. In my case, that was me back before I had graduated high school. Like being compared to back then instead of being the person I am now and trying to figure out how to get back there and try to be my own person. That was something that like I could relate to with Roxas in a way. And Riku is basically like you choose to go down a different path and you lose friends in the way, and then or you are lost so you don't see the friends that are there for you kind of thing. That happened a lot too and coincide with that time and period. The same thing with Xion, where like you're someone but you're no one at the same time. It's really hard. There's a lot of characters in here that you can pretty much feel a connection to in one point or another, just because of how real the situations they're in coincide with how something in real life can happen. And it's just really hard, but then eventually you find someone who pushes you to be more like Sora.
Well, isn't that the whole point of Kingdom Hearts, where you're able to find something to relate to in every character? Almost, like not just one character.
There are tons of characters that I could relate to in different points of my life, but at the same time, there are many characters that everyone can grow from too, just playing this game.
Sora. You're lucky. Looks like my summer vacation is over.
My favorite moments come from Birth by Sleep, just due to the fact that Birth by Sleep is kind of the game that rounds out the whole entire game.
My favorite moment will have to be, and so far has to be, in Dream Drop Distance. Getting towards the ending before final battle scene, Sora's reaching his weakness, and Riku's actually finding himself coming out of the darkness, because I feel like that particular moment, those particular scenes, had everything coming together a little bit, and also just had a big character development from one of my two favorite characters. So I still think that's one of like the most like memorable like moments for me particularly.
Dream Drop Distance came after Birth by Sleep, and Birth by Sleep kind of paved the way for multi-character playing development. In Birth by Sleep, you play as Aqua, Terra, and Ventus. You got to see the 3 different perspectives of how Kingdom Hearts 1 came to be. Played a story in how you meet Sora and how you meet Riku, how you meet Kairi. You learn how the boys got their Keyblades. It's kind of like how Nana was talking about in Dream Drop Distance, that seeing Sora at his lowest and seeing him grow and seeing him basically come into being human, because Sora's portrayed as this super happy goofball, always like, living on cloud 9. and you see him fall when it comes to drop drop distance. Like literally, you almost see him fall under.
We're getting to see a lot more raw, you know, emotions from Sora. We're starting to like get more into like the darker sides of what we're gonna hit into KH3.
It's the same with Birth by Sleep. You see the development of the person who is destined for apocalypse, and you see a person who is destined to feel a major downfall, and then someone who basically has to carry both those weights on their shoulders and fix it. It's one of those dynamic parts in the story where if it didn't happen, none of this would happen. And to me, that's why that game and every scene in it is particularly important, because every detail in that game explains why something in Kingdom Hearts is the way it is.
Themes that resonate with me in all the games that I've seen is basically support. Your BFF is right there next to you, fighting alongside you, or you have, you know, background characters that you didn't even know that have led up to where you are, that, you know, they've been there, kind of thing with the games. Expect friendship to be like the biggest, you know, theme in this game, because, you know, my friends are my power is like literally thrown in your face every damn game with Sora, but then you don't notice like the other tiny little like themes about it too. But the support one's the biggest one that's ever like struck at me, because I always think about like, okay, cool. You see, let's go to Birth by Sleep. You see Terra and how he literally had that big issue with the darkness. As much as he wanted to do it all by himself, he had two people like who were trying so hard to, you know, help him along his, you know, his fight with the darkness and everything. You hit into the Destiny Island trio. You have, you know, Sora, Riku, and Kairi. The one with the biggest issue there also with the darkness was Riku, but you know, you have Sora going through worlds trying to like get him back. How many people don't want a friend like that, when like you've hit your lowest, you feel you're at lowest, but you have a friend that's right there next to you? How many people don't feel like they're by themselves, that no one would miss them in any type of situation, but you have a friend literally like there? And sometimes it takes, you know, a friend to be there for you, to tell you like, I miss you, I'm here for you. So I just feel like the whole, you know, support system, the friendships and all that, it was just really like a strong, like resonating thing with me for the series.
You can't turn on the organization. You get on their bad side and they'll destroy you.
No one would miss me.
That's not true. I would.
Lots of crying. I already know what's gonna happen.
Crying, anger, frustration, tears. The game's just gonna be a whole jumble of emotions. I feel like you're gonna be happy, angry, sad, and thrilled. I don't know, just a cluster.
Honestly, this game means a lot to me, and I'm glad that it's not the end, but I'm glad it's kind of like the end of a decade plus long wait. We've been waiting for this game since Kingdom Hearts 2 came out in 2004? It took 14 plus years for Nomura to finally feel satisfied to give us what happens after. Honestly, you won't have an emotional connection to it if you just start off with Kingdom Hearts 3, because it's the hypest game of the new year.
It's a little bit different because you haven't had like the experience of like waiting for each new release of the game. You know, that whole like wait that we're doing right now for KH3, that's happened with multiple like consoles and, you know, titles. You don't have that connection you could have made with people waiting along with you for this journey as well. So I feel there'll be that missing, you know, little component for newer fans. One of the greater thing about Kingdom Hearts was that, you know, that whole like anticipation, meeting other people, you know, joining you as well, and with that anticipation, talking theories about them to begin with. That's
how we met.
Yeah. So it's a little shame that they won't be able to experience that.
Though at the same time, I think the newer generation is going to enjoy it if they do play it from the beginning, though they don't have that same spark as us who've been playing this game for so long. Me, my husband, my twin in San Diego, our friends in Reno, like, we have so many friends who play this game with us. New or old, it's a game you can enjoy, not just for the Disney aspect, but just for the story and how you watch Sora grow up from being naive to someone who can tell that someone needs help, or what is the right thing to do versus what is the correct way to do it. I met so many wonderful people because of this community, and I know so many great people because of this community. It's a beautiful thing, and as long as you are pretty open about it, the reason why you see people like us cry at the opening every single time, no matter what game you play, is because it's one of those things that are instilled in your heart that you're about to experience something that's completely different. And I know we're just talking about a video game, but this video game means a lot to people who had nothing or needed something to kind of ground them. And for a lot of people, this was kind of that game. Whether you're going into this game with a fresh mind or you kind of already know what's happening, it's for everyone, and that's what makes this game magical. Not the Disney, not the Square Enix aspect of it, but the story that like Nomura has pretty much woven. There's this little kid who is running around with a giant key trying to make people happy, and there's nothing more wholesome or pure than that, I feel.
The Your Gaming Reasons series is a vast departure from my comparison videos, but I wanted to bring something unique and present passionate people who have a heavy admiration for the series. I wanted to thank Nana and Pyo.Chan for taking the time out of their schedule to talk about Kingdom Hearts and the reasonings behind it. If you guys loved or even disliked this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up or down and constructive criticism. All of my social media, including my Twitch, is available down below if you so choose to follow what I do. Lastly, if you want to support the channel, Patreon is the best way to allow me to purchase better equipment and even games so I can improve upcoming videos and beyond. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and I'm gonna see you very soon.
Friendship is magic, man. My friends are my power.